Imagine this. A man who's over 40, a millionaire, insanely talented, and considered one of the most handsome faces in Asia. He's the guy who made millions fall in love through Goblin and Train to Busan. But here's the twist. In over 20 years of his career, he's never had a single confirmed relationship. Not one. We're talking about Gong Yoo. While other celebrities get caught by dispatch or announce surprise marriages, imagine this. A man who's over 40, a millionaire, insanely talented, and considered one of the most handsome faces in Asia. He's the guy who made millions fall in love through Goblin and Train to Busan. But here's the twist. In over 20 years of his career, he's never had a single confirmed relationship. Not one. We're talking about Gong Yoo. While other celebrities get caught by dispatch or announce surprise marriages, Gong Yoo's love life. Completely blank. Or is it? Today, we're diving deep into the mystery. The rumors, the theories, and the truth that no one talks about openly. Is he just private, or is there something bigger he's hiding? Stay till the end, because what you're about to discover might change everything you thought you knew. Before we jump into the theories, let's talk about who Gong Yoo really is. Born on July 10, 1979 in Busan, Gong Yoo wasn't always the confident superstar we see today. In fact, he was a shy kid who struggled to even make eye contact with people. His family wanted him to become a doctor or a lawyer, the typical Korean dream for any child. But Gong Yoo had different plans. He chose acting instead, a decision that went completely against his family's wishes. And it wasn't easy at all. When he moved to Seoul to study theater at Kyunghee University, he faced loneliness, rejection, and constant self-doubt. In the early 2000s, his face, which we think is perfect now, was considered too plain, too ordinary for the flower boy standards that dominated Korean entertainment back then. The industry wanted soft, delicate features, and Gong Yoo's strong, masculine look didn't fit the mold. He struggled for years, working as a VJ on music shows, taking small roles that barely paid the bills, and seriously considering giving up on his dream multiple times. He even worked part-time jobs just to make ends meet. But then came 2007, and Coffee Prince changed everything. Here's where it gets interesting. In Coffee Prince, Gong Yoo plays a man who falls in love with someone he believes is a guy. The way he navigated that role, the confusion, the vulnerability, the acceptance, his performance was so real, so raw, so deeply emotional that people couldn't stop talking about it. It wasn't just good acting. It felt authentic. It broke barriers and made him a legend overnight. Critics praised him for bringing depth and sincerity to a character that could have easily been played as a joke. But Gong Yoo made it beautiful. He made it real. And that's when people started paying attention. After Coffee Prince, he enlisted for mandatory military service, which every Korean man must complete. When he returned, he didn't go back to romantic comedies. Instead, he chose heavy, intense films that showcased his range as an actor. He starred in Silenced, a heartbreaking film about abuse at a school for deaf children. It was so powerful that it led to real legal reforms in South Korea. Then came Finding Mr. Destiny, The Suspect, and A Man and a Woman. But nothing prepared the world for what was coming in 2016. That year, Gong Yoo and Goblin? It wasn't just a drama. It was a cultural reset. People around the world fell in love with the Goblin, the Grim Reaper, and the tragic beauty of the story. Gong Yoo became untouchable, a national treasure, an acting god. But here's the thing. As his fame grew, so did the walls around his personal life. The more successful he became, the more private he got. And that's where the mystery deepens. Let's talk facts. In Korea, Dispatch is like a detective agency for celebrities. They have cameras everywhere. They follow stars to parking lots at 3 a.m. They catch secret dates at remote restaurants. They track flights to Japan for secret getaways. They've exposed countless celebrity couples, from idols to actors. No one escapes Dispatch, except Gong Yoo. In over 20 years of being one of the most famous faces in Korea, there's not a single photo, not one piece of evidence, not even a blurry picture of him on a date with anyone. Now, there are two possibilities here. Either he's living like a monk, staying home, watching Netflix, drinking beer alone, and going fishing on weekends. or he's being extremely protected. Maybe what he's hiding is something the Korean media chooses not to expose because they don't want to destroy a national icon.
Think about it.
In Korean society, a single 45-year-old man raises eyebrows. People start asking questions. Why isn't he married? Why no girlfriend? Is something wrong? The fact that there's zero visual proof of any romantic relationship with women makes people wonder, are we looking in the wrong direction? Are we missing something obvious? They've known each other for over 2 decades. But their friendship? It's not just close. It's intense. It's the kind of closeness that makes people talk. Gong Yoo has publicly called Kang Dong-won honey and darling in interviews and on social media. They vacation together. They spend holidays together. They're always seen together at private gatherings. Their bond goes beyond what most people would consider normal friendship, even in a culture where male friendships are openly affectionate. Years ago, a rumor exploded online that shook the Korean entertainment world. It claimed that Gong Yoo and Kang Dong-won were planning to get married in the United States, where same-sex marriage is legal. The rumor was so specific, with details about dates and locations, that it spread like wildfire across forums and social media. It got so big, so out of control, that both their agencies had to step in immediately. They released angry official statements threatening to sue anyone who continued spreading the rumor. They called it malicious, defamatory, and completely false. But here's the interesting part. Their official explanation for why the two are so close? They're related. Apparently, their grandfathers were childhood best friends who decided to strengthen their bond by arranging marriages within the family, making Gong Yoo and Kang Dong-won distant relatives through marriage. To the agencies, case closed, they're like cousins, which explains why they're always together. But to fans and conspiracy theorists, it's the perfect cover story.
Think about it.
What better way to explain 2 men being inseparable than to say they're... With Lim Soo-young, his co-star from a film, there was a single photo that surfaced from a trip to Jeju Island.
Fans got excited.
Finally, proof of a relationship. But the explanation came quickly. It was a group trip with several friends from the industry. The photo just happened to capture the 2 of them. Explanation? Friends. And just like that, the rumor died. With Kim Go-eun, but this response felt defensive, almost fearful.
Why?
Unless they're afraid that if people start digging into his personal life, if reporters start investigating, they might uncover something the public isn't ready to know. Over the years, Gong Yoo's own words about relationships have been fascinating and revealing. He describes himself as a tsundere, a Japanese term for someone who appears cold and distant on the outside but is actually warm and caring on the inside. In a 2024 interview, he said, "I'm not the type of man women like in real life. I'm not proactive. I don't chase. I don't know how to show feelings properly. I'm awkward with emotions." He talks about loneliness constantly. In almost every interview, the theme comes up. He says he enjoys being alone, drinking beer alone at home, watching movies by himself, taking solo trips. He's created this entire persona of a convinced loner, someone who's chosen solitude. But here's what's interesting. When he talks about loneliness, there's a sadness to it. It doesn't sound like a choice. It sounds like resignation, like he's accepted something he can't change. And then there's his answer about his ideal type. When asked what kind of woman he likes, he once said he's attracted to women with a more boyish style, flat shoes instead of heels, casual clothes, short hair, direct attitude, independent personality. For someone who's supposed to be attracted to women, his description sounds like he's describing traits that remove traditional femininity. And that answer, combined with his groundbreaking role in Coffee Prince, made him a quiet icon in the LGBTQ community. He's sensitive, cries easily in movies and interviews, loves poetry and cats, enjoys art and photography. He doesn't fit the traditional Korean masculine stereotype at all. He's never tried to act tough or macho. And for many queer fans, that's why they feel connected to him. There's something in the way he carries himself, the way he talks about emotions, the way he exists in the world that feels different. In South Korea, there's a cultural concept called Gong or public good. It's a list of actors who are so universally beloved, so precious to the nation, that they're considered to belong to everyone. They're public property for the collective happiness of the people. Gong Yoo is at the top of that list, along with Kang Dong-won, Hyunbin before he got married, and So Ji-sub before his marriage. It sounds like a compliment, like the ultimate form of love from fans. But in reality, it's a cage. It's a prison. These actors can't live normal lives. They can't make personal choices without public approval. And most importantly, they can't ever do anything that would shatter the fantasy. If Gong Yoo were gay, if he were in a relationship with a man, coming out in South Korea today would be professional suicide. Korea is still extremely conservative when it comes to LGBTQ issues. There are no legal protections for gay couples. Same-sex marriage isn't recognized. Many Koreans still view homosexuality as something shameful, something to hide. And for someone whose entire career is built on being the dream man for women, the perfect romantic lead, the ideal husband fantasy, coming out would destroy that image instantly. His CF deals would disappear. His leading man roles would vanish. He'd lose everything he's worked for over 20 years. So when you step back and look at the full picture, the absolute lack of any confirmed relationships with women in over 2 decades, the incredibly close and intense bonds with specific male friends, the defensive and almost panicked reactions from agencies whenever marriage rumors surface, the repeated narrative of "I miss the timing" or "I'm just comfortable alone." The way he lights up around certain men versus his formal distance with women, all of it creates a picture. Maybe it's not just that he's private. Maybe he's protecting a truth that Korean society isn't ready to accept. Maybe the wall he's built around his personal life isn't just to keep people out. Maybe it's to protect who's inside. At the end of the day, Gong Yoo is a master of mystery. And perhaps that's exactly what makes him so magnetic, so endlessly fascinating. He doesn't give us easy answers. He doesn't explain himself. He lets us wonder, lets us fill in the blanks with our own interpretations. Whether he's living a secret love that he has to hide from the world, whether he's asexual and genuinely uninterested in relationships, or whether he's just a man who truly prefers the quiet company of his cats and fishing trips to the chaos of marriage and public relationships, that's his business and his alone. No one has the right to force him out of whatever closet he may or may not be in. But what is undeniable is this. The signs are there. They're subtle. They're carefully managed. But they're there for those who want to see them. He's built an impenetrable fortress around his private life, and he maintains it with incredible discipline. And maybe, just maybe, that fortress isn't only about privacy. Maybe it's about survival.
So what do you think?
Do you believe it's just an incredibly close friendship with Kang Dong-won and Lee Dong-wook, the kind of deep male bonding that should be normalized and celebrated? Do you think he's genuinely still waiting for the right woman to come along, someone who understands his need for solitude and privacy? Or do you think there's something more to the story, something that Korean society and the entertainment industry are protecting him from having to reveal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a respectful, thoughtful conversation about this. No hate, no judgment, just honest discussion. Absolutely nothing in 20 years. Now, there are 2 possibilities here. Either he's living like a monk, staying home, watching Netflix and going fishing. Or he's being extremely protected. Maybe what he's hiding is something the Korean media chooses not to expose because they don't want to destroy a national icon. In Korean society, a single 45-year-old man raises eyebrows. The fact that there's 0 visual proof of any romantic relationship with women makes people wonder, are we looking in the wrong direction? If you search Gong Yoo's name online in Korea, one name always pops up, Kang Dong-won, another legendary actor, also an eternal bachelor. They've been best friends since before fame, back when they were struggling models. But their friendship? It's intense. Gong Yoo has publicly called Kang Dong-won honey and darling. They're always together. Years ago, a rumor exploded online that they were planning to get married in the United States. It got so big that both their agencies had to release angry statements threatening lawsuits. Their official explanation? They're related. Apparently, their grandfathers were childhood friends and arranged marriages in the family, making them distant relatives. To the agencies, case closed, they're like cousins. But to fans, it's the perfect cover story. If the Kang Dong-won story is old news, the Lee Dong-wook theory is the new favorite. During Goblin, the chemistry between Gong Yoo and Lee Dong-wook was so electric that it overshadowed the main couple. Their famous scene walking through the fog with shopping bags became iconic. But it wasn't just acting, they spent all their free time together. Even years later, they send each other coffee trucks with sweet, teasing messages. Recently, on a YouTube show, they acted like an old married couple, finishing each other's sentences, complaining about habits, bickering with affection. Gong Yoo loves fishing. Guess who his fishing buddy is? Lee Dong-wook. Sure, it could just be friendship. But people notice that Gong Yoo seems happier, more relaxed, and more himself around these male friends than he ever does with actresses. There have been 3 main rumors with women: Lim Soo-young, Kim Go-eun, and Young Yoo-mi. With Lim Soo-young, there was a photo from a group trip to Jeju Island. Explanation?
Friends. Done.
With Kim Go-eun, his Goblin co-star, fans tried to ship them. But the vibe was more uncle-niece than romantic. No chemistry off-screen. The most interesting case?
Young Yoo-mi.
In 2018, rumors spread that Gong Yoo and Young Yoo-mi booked the Shilla Hotel, Korea's most luxurious wedding venue, for a secret ceremony. The agency's response? Aggressive. They said, "They're not even like siblings, they're like male brothers." Why emphasize male brothers? Why so much panic over a simple dating rumor? Unless they're afraid that if people dig too deep, they'll find something else. Over the years, Gong Yoo's answers have been fascinating. He describes himself as a tsundere, cold on the outside, warm inside. He said, "I'm not the type of man women like in real life. I'm not proactive. I don't show feelings easily." He talks about loneliness a lot. He says he enjoys being alone, drinking beer alone, watching movies alone. But here's the key. When asked about his ideal type, he once said he likes women with a boyish style, flat shoes, and a direct attitude. He's sensitive, cries easily, loves poetry and cats. He doesn't fit the Korean macho stereotype. And for many in the LGBTQ+ community, he's quietly become an icon. In South Korea, there's a term called public good, actors so beloved that they belong to everyone. Gong Yoo is one of them. It sounds nice, but it's actually a cage. If Gong Yoo were gay, coming out would be career suicide in conservative Korea. His image as every woman's dream man would crumble. So when you look at everything, the lack of girlfriends in 20 years, the deep bonds with specific male friends, the defensive reactions from agencies, the repeated line of "I miss the timing," it paints a picture. Maybe he's not just private. Maybe he's protecting a truth that society isn't ready to accept. At the end of the day, Gong Yoo is a master of mystery. And maybe that's exactly what makes him so magnetic. He doesn't give us answers, he lets us wonder. Whether he's living a secret love, whether he's asexual, or whether he genuinely prefers cats and fishing to marriage, that's his business. But the signs? They're there for those who want to see them. He's built a wall around his private life. And maybe that wall isn't just to keep people out, it's to protect who's inside. So what do you think? Is it just a close friendship with Kang Dong-won and Lee Dong-wook? Is he waiting for the right person? Or do you believe there's more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a respectful conversation. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe because we've got more shocking investigations coming your way. See you in the next one.